Liz and Mike from 105.1 The Buzz joining us live. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning. All right.
Is Taylor okay?
Is she okay? Explain what happened here and then let us know exactly her status at this moment.
Yeah, Taylor Swift is okay. She hurt her hand. So for people that were at her Houston shows, they noticed that she came out and her hand looked injured, and then it slowly kept getting more bandaged as the night went on, and pictures and videos started circulating the internet. And so she finally addressed it and basically said, you know, Houston, I love you guys, had such a great time. By the way, I did hurt my hand, but no big deal. I was stumbling backstage. I tripped over my dress, tried to catch my fall with my palm, and I just hurt my hand, but it's going to be okay. And then she made a joke about Mercury being in retrograde.
So for anyone watching, the pictures we're showing right now, these are, I think, from her first concert.
I think it's from her first concert as well.
These are old photos. All the hand injury photos are on social media. We don't have the rights to show those. So we don't have a picture of the bandages, but okay. I'm glad that it's nothing like super serious.
Doesn't sound like it's going to keep her out of touring by any stretch.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. And I'm actually kind of surprised that it took this long for something like this to happen. I don't know if you guys are familiar with what it looks like backstage at a concert, but it is really dark. And there is a lot of metal and big objects that need to be moved around. And if Taylor Swift is transporting herself in a janitor's cart just to get to the stage, it was inevitable, like something like this.
Maybe she tripped over one of those mop handles. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, if you've seen like videos and stuff from this tour, she like dives into the stage. Like you saw her perform, Travis. Like there's a lot that happens very quickly. So for her to be shuffling around backstage, and luckily she's not like a flute player or anything where she's got to have some serious dexterity in her hand to continue performing. So she's doing good. She's doing all right.
I will say, and it was one of my first thoughts when I saw this, she did play the piano for several songs at the show that I was at. So I don't know if that changes her set list at all, if somebody else may come out to play the piano, maybe she sings. But she played, I would say, at least
the concert
5 songs.
3 hours long.
Yeah.
So just for her to be running around that whole time
is
I'm surprised she hasn't gotten hurt yet.
Totally, totally. And for it to be like a backstage incident and just a hand, if you had to choose an injury, that's the best. Like something like if it was a lower half injury, like a leg or a foot, I mean, that'd be tough because she's bopping around that stage.
Well, we saw that sideline Frank Ocean at Coachella. Pretty good,
yeah,
you know?
That's true.
Getting an ankle injury there. So, yeah, well, I'm glad she's okay. Swifties can breathe a sigh of relief.
They can for now.
So, speaking of songs, Carpool Karaoke, one of James Corden's probably most beloved segments. As he gets ready to wrap up his show, he's going with a bang. He's really ending on a good one.
Yeah, his final Carpool Karaoke is with Adele. And they released like a teaser of it because the whole thing will air on Thursday. And they kind of flipped the script because Adele is driving and she's interviewing James Corden about his experience on the show. And at one point, they both start crying. And as someone that's also cried in a car before, it just felt relatable. It just felt right. But yeah, she's going to be his final guest. And one of the reasons is when she originally did Carpool Karaoke back in 2016, it was one of their first real viral videos that they had.
I also think a lot of people can probably relate to crying in a car, at least listening to Adele.
Oh my gosh.
So
Can confirm. I can relate.
I mean, that's just one of those things. And whether you like James Corden or not, you got to admit, like things like Carpool Karaoke and some of his other segments, they are viral gold for us on the internet. And they give us an inside look at some of these artists that we necessarily don't see dialed down and relaxed in their own environment. So I'm going to miss this about the James Corden show.
Yeah, that's one thing that I think he did really well was, you know, putting them in these situations, kind of having a little fun, playing some games, and getting them to open up. It's interesting because he's so fun and lovable on the show, and then we hear these other stories and some Page Six stuff about him being not so nice to not famous people. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's, you know.
It'll be interesting to see that send off. It is an iconic segment.
I just hope the Carpool Karaoke is not like copyrighted and they're able to give it to somebody else, you know?
Totally. Or, I mean, he could just go do that. Maybe he just does that on his own.
I feel like that could be a web show.
Totally.
Coming soon to Netflix. I don't know.
I do want to say shout out to Ian Carmel, Beaverton's finest. Also a huge part on that show. You know, special comedian, super talented. He's done a great job with it ever since it's been on.
Yeah, he's James' head writer. I'm sure he's got some other fun projects lined up.
I'm sure.
As the show comes to a close. Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Bye, friends.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Don't forget, you can listen to Liz and Mike every weekday morning on 105.1 The Buzz.